What's going on, guys? It's your boy Panda here, and welcome back to the channel. And we've got just a little bit of XDefiant news I want to talk about when it comes to just everything there is to know regarding the release potential of the game, the situation we're in, and just where the game is at this point. I've had a lot of people ask me a lot of questions in the last couple videos about like what's going on, this, that, and the other. So I figured we'd make a full-fledged long-form video of just talking about XDefiant overall, and then near the end we could start into that discussion up about like what you guys are thinking, how you're feeling, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. There's been some new faces here to the channel when it comes to XDefiant, Modern Warfare 3, and all that kind of stuff. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please drop a like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. We upload almost every single day. And if you guys want to stay up to date with everything, it's the best way to do that. So let's take a little trip down memory lane and go back to the beginning of July when we got to see the XDefiant Open Beta, which was their playtest that everyone was able to get their hands on, and we have found out that they had way more players than they expected to be in that beta, and it peaked at about 2.1 million players, which is an insane number, and they said it was about a fraction of what they expected to have happen. Now, upon that beta, we had a lot of people talking about the potential of a release date, and we got some information from a lot of the developers and stuff, and we heard that summer, at the end of summer, or just of summer of this year, was the time frame that they were shooting for. All things were looking good regarding the game, but then we had this whole period of what we called radio silence from the development team. No updates, no videos, no anything letting us know where the game was, what's going on with the game, and it was just kind of crazy. Everyone was kind of just wondering, where the heck is XDefiant? There were two dates on the calendar that people were looking forward to, and that was that of Gamescom as well as Ludwig's gaming event, where we expected to see some details regarding the game and get a potential release date at that time. And Gamescom was the one that I also thought was very, very likely to have it happen. It's a showcase where they show off all the new games. It's the best place to really get hands-on and first looks at a game that could be coming out. Now, the beta was really well received, and people were excited for this game. There was a lot of people titling it the COD Killer, but it was just a new, fresh feeling in a state that had no first-person shooters at the time. So now the only thing that we know as of now is that there's this approval process going on, and not a lot of people know exactly what entails that, but the game had to be approved again because they made changes from the beta version to the full release. So all of us thinking, okay, a summer release, we'll probably see it at some point throughout August or potentially into September, the beginning of then, and still nothing from XDefiant. And a lot of us aren't used to that, especially if you come from the Call of Duty scene. Call of Duty shares a unified engine, which allows them to update the games and push them out a lot quicker through the process period because it's the same thing practically every single year, and there aren't major bugs that need to be fixed, which is where that XDefiant did state that that's the reason the approval process is going on, is it's just bug fixing and getting the game polished so that it can be released. And from what we learned, I don't know how true this is, but it seems to be being pushed around a lot as the culprit of why this is taking so long is that Sony is delaying this process. Sony has not approved the game yet, where there's no issues on the PC and the Microsoft end. It just seems to be Sony that's taking this long time, which debunked a lot of theories that Microsoft and Activision were coercing together and causing this issue for XDefiant because they didn't want Call of Duty to flop and this, that, and the other. But that's a story for a different day. We then got a lot of rumors regarding the idea of a shadow drop, that the game would just release out of nowhere. If you guys remember way back when, Apex Legends was one of those games that had no hype, no build-up, no anything around it. It just one day showed up, and now it's arguably one of the most popular battle royales to ever touch our hands. And a lot of people thought that's what XDefiant was going to do, but that myth was busted by that of Mark Rubin, who is one of the lead developers, saying that no shadow drop will happen. Now, we are going to go straight into an announcement of when we know the game can release with time to preload and get the game ready, which that brings us to our next topic, which is when will the game potentially release? And that's up for discussion in a lot of ways, but I'm going to give you guys my thoughts of like the dates that potentially could have this happen and the reasons behind them. So at the time of filming this, it is September 6th, and September is a month that is filled with really no first-person shooter kind of FPS news at all. There's no games launching. We had that of Starfield, but that's a single-player experience. So that multiplayer itch that people are looking to fill, we do have Season 6 of Call of Duty, but we're in the end of Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, so people don't care to play that game. So we had this window of opportunity that everyone called it for XDefiant to come out and gain a player base and gain some fans and keep that itch going and just basically capitalize on a moment that had nothing to fill people's voids of this multiplayer experience. And A lot of people thought that that would happen before September because there's a lot of interpretations of what is summer. They said they would release by summer. For a lot of people, summer is when people go back to school, when people go back to work, that kind of thing at the end of basically Labor Day. So once it hits Labor Day, a lot of people just assume summer's over, which now if you're following through like solstices and shit, I think the fall solstice starts on like September 22nd. But that's not like, game developers aren't going based off of the solstice. So where we are right now, the least likely dates that we're going to see this game launch are most likely not going to be the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th of September. Those are all Fridays. Games release on Fridays because it gives time for the weekend for people to play them. I don't expect XDefiant to just release on a Monday or a Wednesday or anything like that. And with the amount of time it's going to take to hype the game back up and get people ready to go, I don't see them just dropping it when it comes to like a 3-day span. Now, I could be completely wrong about that, but especially those end dates of the 29th, I just don't see that happening because of what's right behind that, and it's that of Call of Duty Next. And Mark Rubin knows as well as anyone else that Call of Duty is a juggernaut. This is a David versus Goliath situation. Call of Duty has millions in marketing, and this is against a brand new IP that a lot of the community titled as the COD killer. Whether you believe that or not, that's on you. I would love to see these two games coexist, and I think that they can. I think that they will have some ability to fight each other and make each other be a better game, and I think that's kind of the reason why we see Modern Warfare 3 in the position that it's in right now, bringing back fan-favorite abilities and fan-favorite things that should have never been taken out of the game to begin with. And whether you have gripes with Activision or not, I personally don't agree with the company as a whole. I know Call of Duty is sentimental to me because it's the start of my content career, and it's something that I play almost every year no matter what, which I am a shell for that. I guess you could call me a bootlicker for Call of Duty, and I will openly admit that that's what I am. And a lot of people hate Call of Duty, and I give them no reason not to. Call of Duty is a horrible company, and they make shitty games sometimes, and they do lack that of the community insight. But it seems like Call of Duty got a little fire lit under their ass when XDefiant started gaining all that traction. And like we said, that window of opportunity was there for XDefiant to take over a little bit of that first-person shooter space. Now, do I truly think XDefiant can grow to the likings of bigger than Call of Duty? No. Call of Duty is too big of a mass market. Truly, I think the likelihood of us seeing this game launch is going to be near the middle to end of October after that COD beta, and no way are they going to launch in November. I can't see it unless it's like the end of November. That's too much Call of Duty at that time, unless they're just balls to the wall thinking, we're going to fight this head-to-head, which would be crazy for Call of Duty to have that much competition upon launch. But like I said, it's millions of dollars in marketing versus a brand new IP, and that's a scary thing because Call of Duty is a household name. But I just don't see a September launch happening. If anything, end of October and maybe the middle of December. Just the end of November and the beginning of November are just kind of off limits, especially with Call of Duty starting out with a launch. You know, you have that early access for campaign, then you have the full game release, then you have the Warzone integration for the first season. So that is all going to be taken over by that sphere of Call of Duty, and it's just not, it's a recipe for disaster for XDefiant. So let me know all your thoughts and opinions regarding XDefiant, and if you stayed through the whole video, make sure to put in the comments section your favorite gun inside of Call of Duty or XDefiant, whichever you want to put, so I know that you stayed throughout the whole video. I love you guys to death. I appreciate all the love and support recently on the channel. If you guys want to drop a like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you guys never miss an upload. I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces, boys.